This is your host, CPM, and you are now tuned in to Loop That Bish weekly podcast. What's up, everybody? This is episode 2 of Loop That Bish radio weekly podcast. I'm your host, CPM, and this week I thought that I would mix it up a little bit and talk to you guys about some things that are going on in R&B and maybe some hip-hop. First, I want to say happy belated birthday to the late, but definitely great and never forgotten Gerald Levert. He was, to me, an amazing songwriter. And for those that can remember, he used to do the BET tributes to like every artist. And since his passing, honestly, tributes, BET awards haven't been the same. But he really was a dope songwriter behind the scenes in the industry, and I really feel like R&B heads should really, keep his legacy alive. So he would have been 51 on July 13th. Love and miss you, Gerald Levert. Well, the big news this week is Beyonce released the first picture of her twins, Sir, and I want to say, is it Rumi or is it Rummy? I don't know how to say it. I'm not going to pretend I know how to say it. But she released the picture, broke the internet yet again. They're saying that the picture she released of her twins is the second, or maybe the first. I think the second most like is when she released her pregnancy picture with the twins. So congratulations to J and B. They are now a family of 5 and they have 3 children. I think it's so dope that we get to see, maturity in hip hop and R&B from the reigning king and queen. Can't dispute that. At this point they are the king and queen of their respective genres. But I think this is great, and I think people need to see this. Some people are, as they always will be on the internet, they have an opinion. Some are saying that she thinks, she's like above everybody else. Why would she release this picture, like she's some kind of god or saint? But that rumor has always followed her. I mean, honestly, I just think she's proud of her babies. I think she's proud to be a mother again, considering her struggles with fertility in the past. I just think she's happy, and I feel like if she wants to celebrate that, more power to her. So that picture was released Thursday night. I was somewhere in my bed in a deep slumber. I woke up like, no, she didn't. Because I honestly thought it was going to be like months before we saw these twins. With Blue, I can't really remember, but I think maybe she did release it. The picture of Blue, the month that she was born. But honestly, the only thing that I was like, okay, I kind of wanted to see like the way she did it with Blue, where the pictures were more intimate. They were at home or wherever they were. That would have been nice. It would have been nice to see Blue like sitting with the twins with her and Jay. It kind of felt personal, but then it kind of felt impersonal, the picture that she released. But all in all, I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm glad that, her fans, and I am a fan, but I'm just saying her fans are like they go uber hard for her. They're happy they got to, quote unquote, sharing a moment with her. So it's all good. Moving along, I wanted to talk about D'Angelo's Brown Sugar getting remastered and expanded for this new deluxe edition they're going to release. Okay, so let me tell you, I am one of the biggest D'Angelo fans. 1995 was a magical year for R&B. We all know this. And this album dropped on July 4th. Although I really don't remember that 4th, but I know it dropped in. And honestly, it changed the landscape of R&B. It changed my perception of what R&B, I guess, was or was going. Because when D'Angelo dropped this album, you had traditional R&B still on the forefront, but you had people like the Ozzy Brothers who were remixing their songs. If you guys remember, they did a remix with Bad Boy for Floating On. You had people like Faith and Mary out. You just had so many R&B artists out during this time, as well as hip hop. And it was like the lines were crossing between hip hop and R&B, and people were trying to find their sound, or were defining a sound, I should say. And here comes D'Angelo, and this dude is from Virginia, from Richmond. And he's singing, but he got like this vibe to him, this hump in his voice. The tracks were soulful, kind of bluesy, not really bluesy, but more so he incorporated organ, in his music, but it still had that hip hop vibe, and he was relevant lyrically. So all that together made a classic sound that to this day nobody has touched, and they can't touch. And you can throw on Brown Sugar right now, as I've done many times, and it still sounds fresh. You still remember why you love that album in the first place. So I'm very excited. The music nerd in me is very excited to be getting this deluxe edition. It's going to be 21 rare tracks, including remixes. There's going to be some instrumentals, and there's going to be some a cappella versions of the songs. And we're also going to get a 20 booklet of rare photos, essay, and the lyrics for the original 10 tracks. So this is going to be dope. And hopefully this is going to push D to put another album out. I'm going to hold my breath on that one. But anyway, music heads, check that out. Right now, I don't think they have... Oh, I'm sorry. It's going to be released on August 25th. So look out for that. Another dope thing going on in music, TLC, which I'll be honest, I haven't heard their album, and I've actually been trying to make time to listen to this album. I guess I could just throw it on while I'm driving to work or coming home from work. But it's definitely an album that I want to hear, but I'm kind of like, do I really want to hear it? Because honestly, I was the biggest TLC fan. I still am one of the biggest TLC fans. I played Crazy Sexy Cool out on Ignorant Levels in my mother and my father's house. But to me, Without Left Eye is just a somber experience. And it could be a somber party, but I want to hear Left Eye. And let's just be honest, ever since her death, I feel like T-Boz and Chili were really trying to figure out what they were going to do. And I don't think they really knew what to do. Because if you remember, they had that reality show that I really didn't watch. Because I was like, Y'all trying to find a replacement, even though you're not trying to say it's a replacement. And this was like, what, early 2000s when this reality show came out. You can't replace Left Eye. You just can't. And when you go back and look at the times where they butted heads, you see why now, because she had a vision. She was the visionary behind TLC as far as, how their image was going to go, how their songs were kind of going to go, because once she died, the sound left. And it's because she had a lot of input, even though they kept going back and forth, but she did. She was, to me, and really creatively, the driving force behind TLC. So to hear new music is just really, it's just not the same. And I would rather play those older songs, at least to hear her and their chemistry, rather than the new songs. But I do like Way Back with Snoop Dogg. I do like that because I think it's upbeat, it's kind of funky, and it has a good message. But I will get around to hearing that album. But the reason I brought them up is because their album, and they're saying this is the final album, it actually debuted at #1 on Billboard's independent album chart, which I think that's dope. I mean, especially in this climate of music where people aren't buying music. I mean, they're from the era where going diamond, which is 10 million sold, was just like going platinum for the bigger acts back in the day, the headlining acts. So for them to go to #1, that's a great feat. And the album came out on the 30th of June, so we're talking about it's now the 16th of July. That's dope. So applause to them, and I hope that this final ride is everything, that they thought it would be. Moving forward, I also want to say, you guys, go support Sevyn Streeter's new album. One of my music heroes and my spiritual brother, as we've kind of coined it, Brian Morgan Alexander, he produced on her new album, Girl Disrupted. And I've always liked Sevyn, because foremost, she's a songwriter as well as a singer. I just think, because I actually listened to the album, so for me, I get she wants to be, current, relevant, trendy. But this girl, she has an ear for melody, and I feel like if somebody from this era would just throw it back a little bit to the 90s, and when I say throw it back to the 90s, I don't mean just like sampling a song like she did on her new album, SWV, she sampled somebody else, and somebody like Bryson Tiller, where they're just sampling these songs. Like, if they really would just go reach out to Babyface, go reach out to Brian Morgan Alexander, we just call him Bam, and get an original track from them instead of trying to sample these songs that we already love and the standard is so high. It's like, just do something original, because these kids, a good chunk of them really have raw talent, and Sevyn is one of them. And I feel like if she, if you want that throwback sound, go to the source. Somebody go call up Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Hell, it worked for Janet for about 2 decades. Just call them up. Y'all ain't gotta sample everything, because guess what? We love those artists for what they originally gave to us. And coming and singing over these tracks half-ass sometimes, it ain't doing it. just take it back, throw it back. It'll be all good. And that's no diss to Sevyn. I'm just saying, and it's not even her particularly. I guess I went on a little rant there. It's just overall, everybody wants to incorporate, that 90s vibe, but it's like that vibe was dope because that era of artists took something old but made it their own, and it was cutting edge. You had Mary sampling Barry White, but she made it her own. You had Puff sampling any and everything from Bowie to, Lord, just check his resume. I mean, he was just sampling, but he made it his own. And every artist that got on a record on Bad Boy made it their own. That's all I'm saying. So, another group, since we're talking about the 90s, 112 apparently released a new single called Strawberry. I didn't even know this until I was on Keisha Up's Instagram, which she's from Total, and she's now married to Omar Epps. Well, she's been married to him, and she was posting throwback pictures, and then she kind of threw it in the mix that 112 had released a single, and I'm like, how the hell would anybody have known? I mean, I wouldn't have known. Would you have known? Because the promotion is just not there. I mean, and I get it, nobody's really promoting music anymore like they used to back in the day. So, it is what it is. I'm actually going to play this because I haven't heard it. So, this will be just like an honest opinion. Just going to play a little snippet of it. Because I can normally tell within 30 seconds if I'm going to like a song. Just a little bit. Okay, so honestly, I don't like it. And I love 112, but I don't like it. And the reason I don't like it is because it seems just like now you just hit a button, you have a drum beat, it obviously sounds programmed because it is. And I don't know, the lyrics. You know what? Okay, it's called Strawberry. Remember they had that song Peaches and Cream in 2001, which I really didn't care for in 2001, but they played the hell out of it, and I guess eventually I just started humming along. But I guess they're trying to recapture that Peaches and Cream vibe with this song, but I'm just not feeling it. And like I said, I know 30 seconds in if I'm going to like something. It's not my thing, but you guys can listen to their latest song, Strawberry, on the major streaming outlets. I was playing mine on Apple Music. So I'm glad, they're still making music. Hopefully they can come out with something, slow it down, get back to that classic 112 sound. In other news, which, hell, I didn't know this either. Jagged Edge released a surprise album, Layover. Okay, let me just say this. Yeah, you are out here releasing surprise albums, and we haven't heard from you. Like, I'm gonna need you to have just a little bit of warning for us, like, because I didn't even know it was out. Only reason I knew it was out because I'm on this website, and they posted it. I guess the album came out on the 12th. I'm not sure. Of course, I haven't heard it, but the name of it is called Layover. That's by Jagged Edge. I mean, hey, everybody, I guess maybe they Beyonce in the hit. I don't know. But they haven't put out an album since 2014, J.E. Heartbreak Part 2. So, glad to see them still doing it. So that's just a brief little talk with you guys. You guys can follow my radio show, which is a companion to the podcast, here on Spreaker. Or you can also listen to my radio show on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, and TuneIn Radio. I'm pretty accessible, so it's really like no excuse for you guys not to be listening. You can catch me every Thursday on those following outlets that I just mentioned. So I'll see you guys next weekend. Hope you guys have a great week. Talk to you soon.